So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the annoying things that happen in fashion. And this video is probably going to sound like I'm moaning a lot because I probably am going to be moaning a lot, but it's just for fun. And just before I get into my list, let me know what annoys you most when it comes to fashion. It could be absolutely anything, so don't hold back. If you need to get something off your chest, get it off your chest. If you like this video at any point, please feel free to drop it a like. And now that's all out the way, let's get annoyed. So the first thing that I want to talk about is sizing. And I get that different brands design their clothing in a different way. So some brands might like their clothing to fit a bit bigger, and some brands like their clothing to fit smaller, and that's absolutely fine. I get that. So for example, take two brands and they both design a medium-sized t-shirt in their style. One t-shirt is big and boxy, and the other has a slim fit, and that's absolutely fine. Brands have different aesthetics, and yeah, that's fine. What I don't understand is when a size 32 waist doesn't fit like a size 32 waist. Some brands will have it where a size 32 waist fits like a size 34, and others where it fits like a size 30. A 32-inch waist is an exact measurement, so you'd hope a pair of jeans with a 32 waist would fit a 32 waist, but sadly that's not the case all the time. Another one that's a pain with sizing is when you buy the exact same item from the exact same brand, and that item fits differently to the other item that's exactly the same. This happens far too much, and you end up wearing the one that you like the fit of the most, and you don't wear the other one so much. And don't even get me started on shoes. Now, I've got myself started on shoes now, so I'm going to have to talk about them, but the sizing on shoes is horrendous. I thought a UK size 9 is a UK size 9, but apparently not in the shoe world. Even when I bought shoes from the same brand, some of their models fit a lot bigger than others, and it makes no sense. Also, what's with designer shoes and having to size down in so many of them? Like, here's our shoe, it's a UK size 9, but I'd recommend that you size down a full size if you are a size 9. So what you're telling me is that shoe is actually a UK size 10, but you're labeling it as a UK size 9 for some reason. But why? What are you doing? I swear they do it to mess with us, but if anyone out there does know the reason, then please do let us know. Now, I am going to be talking about other things and not just sizing, but I need to get this off my chest as well, and it's all about sizing charts. Now, some brands or retailers are as good as gold, and their sizing charts are amazing. They measure each item out for you, they have a model on there where they list the model's measurements and tell you what size they're wearing, but not all do this. And then you have the websites that have a standardized guide to give you an idea of what size you'll need. They then say some brands or items may vary from these conversions, and that's why I need an accurate sizing chart. I already have an idea of what size I usually need, but I need to know if the item that I'm looking at is going to be too long or too short for my liking. As we talked about earlier, one brand size medium could be a lot bigger or a lot smaller than another brand size medium. So if you're not familiar with that brand, then a size guide really does help. Well, at least they've got a picture of the model, so what I'll do is I'll look at the model, head down to the description, see how tall he is and see what size he's wearing, and it'll give me a rough idea of what size I'll need. Oh no, of course it doesn't have the model's measurements. What was I thinking? For me, when shopping online, size guides are so important. It saves me having to buy multiple sizes of the same items and then having to send the other items back. If the brand are offering free returns, then it saves them money because they're not having to fork out so much money to pay for the free returns. It also helps save the environment because people aren't sending so much stuff back. But what I don't know is it might cost the brand more to have someone measuring out each item of clothing. I don't know. If you do know, let us know. And some of you might be saying, why don't I just go into the store and try an item of clothing on in there? Well, good question. Well, firstly, where I live, there aren't that many good clothing stores around, and the clothing that I like to wear isn't available in any of those stores. And secondly, the high street is a lot more expensive than shopping online these days, and they never have my size available. Brands don't really offer much of an incentive to shop in store these days, so I shop online. But that's enough about sizing, let's move on to something else. So the next thing I find really annoying, well, it's more of a shame really, is when people in the fashion community go out of their way to put other people down about their style. Rather than appreciating and accepting other styles, they'd rather go out of their way to tear other people down to make themselves feel better about their own style, which they're probably insecure about, by the way. No one who's truly happy and comfortable in their own style is going out of their way to put other people down about their style. It just doesn't happen. It's usually people who can't think for themselves, they join a fashion subculture, and then they go around in their little groups and put other people down. And to those people, what is your end goal? Would you rather everyone dress like you? Just remember, if everyone wore the exact same style that you wear, your style would no longer stand out. So appreciate other people's styles because they allow yours to exist. But these guys are going going around thinking that they're main characters and calling themselves main characters, and everyone else are NPCs. And I think I'm too old for all these fashion games and this fashion lingo, and I'm kind of glad about that. But do you know what I'm not glad about? Yeah, you guessed it. Ironing. Now, I hate ironing, but it's very much needed if you want to look sharp, and I want to look sharp. So if my ironing session goes to plan, then I'll have a wrinkle-free garment, and yeah, I'll be relieved that nothing went wrong. But my ironing sessions go to plan about 40% of the time. 60% of the time, this is what happens. So I'll get the ironing board out, I'll set it up in the living room, and I'll fill the iron with water. I'll make sure that the plate underneath looks nice and clean, there's no black marks on it, nothing that can be transferred onto my crisp white t-shirt. I turn the iron on, and do I start ironing straight away? Definitely not. First, I test the iron out on the ironing board and check that nothing comes off onto the ironing board. Once I'm happy that nothing can be transferred from the iron onto my clothing, it's time for the main event. And then out of nowhere, a massive black mark goes all over my crisp white t-shirt that I spent a small fortune on, and it's completely ruined. Sometimes the iron will also just decide to melt a bit of my clothing as well, because why not? All that item is good for now is a rag to clean the bathroom, and I've already got loads of them from the last time that I messed up on the ironing. I've been talking about steamers on the channel for a long time, but I think it's time I actually got one because I'm wasting so much money with an iron. But I swear white t-shirts have it in for me. I could be cooking spaghetti bolognese in a black t-shirt and not one drop of bolognese will come anywhere close to my t-shirt. But as soon as I wear a white t-shirt, that bolognese starts bubbling away, it starts spitting everywhere, and it goes all over me. Now, I have learnt my lesson and I no longer cook in white t-shirts, and I wouldn't advise you do either, and I wouldn't advise you eat in them either. But for some reason, as I get older, the more white t-shirts I'm ruining, and I don't know what's going on. When I was growing up, I always wore white t-shirts, and I never had a problem with them. They were always crisp, they were always clean, and yeah, I loved wearing them. But now it's got to a point where I'm scared to buy any new ones because I know I'm going to ruin them. What was once an item that I loved to wear has now become an item that I fear to wear the most. I think it's got something to do with overthinking. When you're wearing a white t-shirt, you're thinking, don't get anything over it, and then you end up getting everything over it. I'm not even a clumsy person either, even though it might sound like it. And another annoying thing is when you buy an item of clothing and then it comes to the time when you need to wash it, and then you check the label and it says hand wash only or dry clean only. Who dry cleans stuff anymore? I don't even know where a dry cleaners is. What am I even talking about anymore? I've completely lost track of what this video was about. So I think I'm going to end this one here. But if you like this one, please do leave it a like. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See you later.